and welcome back to another toy review. Technically speaking, this is the first toy review ever since the Chinese New Year. So we are right now in the year of the fire horse, going by Chinese astrology. So needless to say, this is a perfect opportunity for us to look at a couple of pretty premium horse figures from the D20 Fish Toys studio. Are they just old hypes or are they really worth the price they're asking for? Because these are expensive horses. They're like $100 horses, a little bit pricier than even the horses from the Four Horsemen studio. Man, I have said so many horse in my last minute. It's ridiculous. But anyway, are these horses really worth the price? Are they really all that good? Or are they not worth it? Let's take a look at this review of the D20 Fish Toy Studios horse figure. We got the black one and the brown one. And the black one is the feathered legged version, and the brown one is the standard version. Let's take a look. And if you stay till the end of the video, you will see some photos that Kitten and I took a few years ago when we went horseback riding. If you're wondering how come we don't have a regular intro today, it's because, well, honestly, these are horses. There's not a heck of a lot to say about them, so I figured we might as well streamline this a little bit. And because my voice has not fully recovered from my cold, so you can probably still hear a bit of gruffness in my voice, like I'm growling or something. I promise I'm not doing this on purpose. um, so we are looking at the D20 horses, and as you can see, we got a lot of horse and riders here on the desk. It's like the great hunt going on here. Uh, it does look really impressive when you line the horse riders up this way. Unfortunately, they also take up a heck of a lot of room on your shelf as well. So take that into consideration. So, as mentioned, these horses, we got the black one here. This is, I believe, the black A version. So when you buy these horses, they are anywhere between $75 US to $120 US. So we'll just average it out to say they're about $100 each. Each horse comes with a soft, brushable mane. This is actually really soft. They do shed a little bit, unfortunately. Um, and bendy tail with soft, brushable hair as well on the tail, and there is an articulation point in the tail where it joins the body. These are really muscular horses as well, which I really enjoy the sculpt of these, how muscular they are. Each version comes with two options. So you have first the color. You get to pick white, black, or brown. And for each one, you get to pick version A, which is like this black one here, have the more furry feathered hoof. Uh, while we have this here, look at how big the hoofs are on these horses. They're really impressive. They got huge hoofs. Um, and this one has a closed mouth on it. On the B version, you would have the more smooth, unfeathered legs and open, like more like a snarling, I'm going to bite you kind of expression on the head. So, yeah, it's not just a color change. They do have some sculptural changes as well. Kind of like how Four Horsemen Studio, depending on their horses, some of them have different legs. and different head and stuff like that, but the basic body is the same. If I didn't know better, like I probably would have thought these were just knockoff of Four Horsemen horses, but they're not. They're actually quite a bit better in some ways, quite a bit more expensive as well. But we already uh, dealt with that. Uh, as far as action figure horses go, I would say these are probably as good as you are going to get on the market right now. So, uh, combining all the features of these horses, which we'll look at in the posing photos and in a little bit, I would say these are quite possibly the best action figure horses you can get on the market. Uh, I mean, the Four Horsemen stuff is not far behind. Don't get me wrong. Four Horsemen horses are really, really nice. But these just kind of edge them out slightly because of the realistic mane and realistic tail, and the neck is covered in this soft material, like a rubber, kind of like Storm collectible action figures. So yeah, when you bend the neck, it makes this really alarming, squeaky, cracky sound. But so far, everything moved pretty well. And now that I'm feeling the neck, actually, it's quite impressive how many joints there are in the neck. Just this horse alone. Uh, it's all under the soft rubber, but I can feel one, two, three, four. There's at least four joints along the neck. So you can really get the neck into some interesting poses. It doesn't really turn its head very well, however. I've been trying to get it to kind of look over its shoulder, but I'm afraid to torque it too hard. I mean, I don't want to break a $100 horse figure. So yeah, I'm not going to try to force it. The saddle, it does come off. Actually, the saddle design, it just reminds me a lot of the what the Four Horsemen give us. You have the saddle blanket, you have the stirrup, and then you have these little loops you can hang weapons on, and then you have the uh, rein of the horse attached to uh, the tack, and all this is uh, kind of soft, rubbery material, and easily removable as well. So you can definitely strip your horse down if you prefer to have your figure ride like bareback or something like that. Like I said, unfortunately, because they're horses and it's not like they have complicated backstories or motives. So there's not a lot for me to say. So let's just go ahead and look at some posing photos and talk about articulation and stuff like that. And then we'll be back. So I think most people's initial question is, how do these horses match up against other horses, in particular the McFarlane horses and the Four Horsemen horses? Well, these are definitely better than the McFarlane horses. And they are, in my opinion, better than the Four Horsemen horses, which has been the gold standard for action figure horses for quite a while. These D20 studio horses are slightly bigger, just slightly. Like you stand them side by side, you can kind of tell they're bigger than the Four Horsemen horses, but not by much. And they're way more articulated. The hind legs have better lateral movement, and the body actually have two articulation points in the chest and then one in the waist, whatever those are called on horses. The soft hair on the mane and tail, and the bandy wire tail, and the soft material used for the neck also make the horse pose a lot more naturally than the Four Horsemen horses. Now these are also $40 to $50 more than the Four Horsemen creation, and they don't even come with the cool armor. If you want the cool armor, you got to spend another $100 to buy them. But yeah, the horses themselves are pretty decent and really quite fun to pose. The tack and saddle, they're all removable and quite easy to put on and take off. And you don't even need to take the horses apart to get those things on or off of them. So it's easy to get a totally natural looking wild horse if you want to take off all the stuff as well. And the saddle also has loops and straps to carry shield and other weapons. So that's pretty cool. So now we have here the brown one written by Sir Owen from Mythic Legions. And as you can see, in Mythic Legion, at least the guys, they they can ride these horses okay. I mean, they do need to work. You do need to work a little bit to get them to reach the stirrup, which is one of the issues we're going to kind of talk about with some of the cons for these horses. Don't get me wrong; these are fantastic horses, but they are not quite perfect. And one of the biggest problem that I personally have run into, and I've seen some other reviewers talking about, is not every figure can ride them. And I mean, it's no exaggeration. Like, it requires someone of unusual stature to ride these horses naturally because of how big they are, and also because the stirrups are not adjustable. Now, this is one thing that I wish to see from action figure horses in the future. Is when you have stirrups like this, it shouldn't be very difficult to make them adjustable, right? Uh, I mean, the whole saddle and rein and all that stuff already use kind of a peg customizable system, so it's not that difficult to drill a few more holes so you can make the stirrup a little bit shorter. That, I think, that would definitely improve on the usability of these horses. As you can see with this brown one, we have the open mouth, much more aggressive looking. Um, Again, articulation, of course, is just as good as the black one. There's no difference. Um, and we have the much smoother legs, so no feathering on the ankles. Another kind of a, not really a con, I think, but just like a personal preference kind of thing, I would say, is I don't like the soft mane. Like, I know, like, girls probably like styling the mane and braiding them and stuff like that, but I don't do that. So for me, these things, they shed, they get dirty, they get all tangly, and sometimes they have like dust or stuff caught in them. Uh, and it's just too much like playing with a doll for me to be able to enjoy these horses. Not to mention, I like sculpted plastic tails and manes because you can get more dynamic looks out of them. Like a lot of the horses we have in the background here. Let me see if I can reach Brigo and Aragorn or Strider over here. So here is made by Toy Biz, Lord of the Ring, Brigo and Strider or Aragorn, and as you can see, this tail looks way fuller, way fluffier, and like, the whole horse just looks a little bit more dynamic because of the sculpted plastic mane and tail. So yeah, like, personally, I can do without the soft mane, soft tail. But again, like I said, that's just a personal preference. I think probably some people out there really love them, but personally, I don't care for them. Um, Another tiny gripe is the saddle. They don't fit super snugly, so unless you slide the belly strap forward enough, they will flop around a little bit when you're trying to get your figure into the saddle. And sometimes when you're trying to adjust the saddle, the strap will come loose because it's just held on by like one peg at the end of the strap. So it is not the most secure fit. I think that could probably be done a little bit better as well. But other than that, and all those are like tiny nitpicks. Uh, Other than those problems, I really can't say there's much wrong with these horses, other than other than they're damn expensive. Uh, I would really love it if I could get 5 or 6 of these, and just for my entire regiment of knights and warriors to have a mount. But that's like $600 just to get horses. So that is way too much for me to be able to afford at this point. Just getting this too, I already kind of experienced a little bit of a buyer remorse because of how expensive they are. Not that they are not good, and not that they are not worth the money. It's just, well, when you deal with D20 Fish Toy Studios, and no matter if it's a giant wolves or their wild boar or their horses, they tend to mark their things a little bit higher than what they should be. It's almost like all the D20 fish toys or action figures cost $40 more than they should. Uh, like, I think if they sell these at 65, $70, they would be fantastic, perfect, like really, really perfectly priced. But at $100, and on some website I've seen them $120, $130, that's just way too much. Now let me give you my final verdict, and don't forget to stick around and look at some horsebacking, horseback riding, horseback riding photos. Look at some real horses. Congratulations, you actually made it to the end of the video, and as promised, I'm going to show you some photos from when Kitten and I went horseback riding a few years ago. After some final words on these horses. So, what do I think of these D20 horses? I think they're pretty good. They're really quite nice and fun to pose, and definitely has a present on your shelf. The downside, of course, is they are quite expensive, and you don't even get the full armor set with them. But that is really quite normal for D20 or Fish Toy Studio to be a little bit overpriced. But um, they they're definitely nice horses to have, and honestly more suited for 7-inch figures than 6-inch figures, even though they're marketed for 1/12 figure. Thank you again for checking out today's video, and don't forget, if you like my content, please like the video, share, and subscribe. And if you want to get more Johnny Tiger goodies, you can also check out my blog at johnnytigerexperience.blogspot.com. Thank you. Have a good day. Want some personalized horse artwork made by a blind artist? Go to tigertactile.com. And for a short documentary about my life, what I did, how I became what I am, go watch it for free over at johnnytiger.com.